When we look at an elite golfer, there's two positions at the top of their backswing that they all pretty much have it in common. Every once in a while, there's a few outliers that don't do this that are still great golfers. But today we're going to talk about those two most common positions at the top of the backswing. We'll teach you how to get there, what it looks like, and we'll also take you through like the small flaws that can come across at the top of the backswing, trying to get into these positions, really not knowing that it's actually happening. So if you're brand new to our channel, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell button. You'll see our future videos that we post. And if you enjoy today's content, if this helps you get a better backswing, a more pure top of your backswing, make sure you give us a thumbs up for enjoying it. The first position that we're going to talk about is what your top of your backswing should look like, what your arm should be doing. So the first thing you need to do is you're just going to stand straight up and down. You can do this at home. This is a great way to practice at home. You're going to take your right arm up, and you're just going to let it move back just a little bit, okay? If you don't have that range of motion, that's okay. We can still kind of do with that today, but really most golfers should be able to at least move a little bit, okay? And then you're going to take your left arm, put it across your body, all right? This is the top of your backswing. The only thing that changes is you bend into your golf posture, and then you rotate. Okay, very simple. So that's how we get to the top of our backswing. So right arm just has that little flex, 90-degree angle here. All right, arms connect, golf posture, and then return to the top. Okay, that is how you find the top of your backswing for basically your right arm. It doesn't have to be too much. Now, right, here's Max Homa, elite golfer, right? PGA Tour player. Good takeaway. Club doesn't push across his body. Gets it to the top. All right. You can see his arm is bent to 90 degrees here. It's flexed just maybe out to the side just a little bit. But his club is still down the line. The depth of his hands, everything looks good there. So he's done a great job with his right arm, bending it correctly and setting it at the right position at the top. Now, what I come in contact with a lot is there's two flaws. So when I see people do this, all right, the first flaw is they push that lead arm across their body. And so now when they get to the top, you can see that everything's a little bit in a different angle, all right? Their hands kind of get deep. They don't actually turn because this isn't a turn. That's a push across your body with your arm. You can see my shoulder hasn't moved that much, right? It's just a weak, very inconsistent position. So make sure that your left arm only goes across your body. Let's say I like it about here. If you get across here, that's still okay. You just cannot pin it basically to your chest. Okay. Now the next position is your right arm. And this is where a lot of people have issues with, and it's very easy. Sometimes I struggle with it a little bit also. Because people will get it to the top of their backswing, and if this elbow goes from basically kind of pointing down to out a little bit, the club gets across the line. Okay. Now there are a few outliers, of course, that were able to still play golf this way and be very successful, but those are outliers. We want to go with a higher percentage of being successful. So if you have to take it to the top, and if your shoulders are a little stiff, and you have to stop here to keep that arm in that position, you're better off, because as soon as that club starts tipping the wrong way on top, then you have to make a lot of laying down moves to save it, which is hard for most of us. We don't have enough time to practice that move, and the consistency factor starts to drop. Okay, so make sure you got that left arm, it doesn't push across your chest too much, and that right elbow, it's going to feel like it basically matches like your seam on your shirt here versus tipping out there. Sometimes when we try to get that extra big turn, that elbow kind of flips out there like that, so make sure it gets to the right position. Now the next thing we're going to talk about is the wrist position. Okay, this is how we deal with what is a square club face and what is a closed face and open face and all that kind of stuff. So if we look at the right hand needs to do this. So doing our little move to the top, all right hand needs to have this angle to it. Okay, if it doesn't have that angle, if it is flat, the face is going to be open. If it's bowed a lot, the face is going to be a little bit closed. So you can easily start to make some adjustments that way. Now the left hand, when it gets to the top, all right, we like to see it look flat. Flat with the forearm. Basically, if we're looking face on, the glove would look right at you. It wouldn't look away from you or be at that angle, the cup position there. All right, we'd like to see that arm positions get to the top and that look very flat there. Then you're going to have a very square club face, much easier to deliver. If you
Here we have Nelly Korda, LPGA Tour player, one of the best ones out there. Pure takeaway. Glove doesn't get pushed across her chest too much. You can see that right arm and everything's in the right position at the top. And then when we look at her wrists, she does all the right stuff with her wrists. She's got that slight little move there, a little bow there. And her left wrist, you can see the butt end of the club, but you can see that her wrist is completely flush with her arm there. So it's perfectly square, and then the club face pretty much matches her left forearm. So throughout her golf swing, she's very consistent at the top of her golf swing. It's a very stable club face, good position to swing from.
Face, much easier to deliver. If you struggle with kind of a slice, you can bow it a little bit. That helps close the face a little bit. But you got to match all these things together. So we're going to do our little move to find the top of the golf swing and get to the top. And you can see those positions where my left hand is, where my right hand is, club face is, right? And then we just deliver it down into the ball. Makes it a whole lot easier. So those are some simple checks that you need to make in your golf swing, right? Remember, every elite golfer pretty much shares that. Some might have a little bit more bow in their left hand, like a Jordan Spieth. We all know Dustin Johnson. I think John Rahm has a little bit of that. Okay, so those are some pros that have a little too much bow with their left hand, or just have more bow, maybe not too much. And then there's a few that have a small cup, never a big cup with that left hand on top, because that means that club face is going to be wide open on you, right? So very simply, if you don't have a whole lot of time to practice, just do that with your right hand. So it bicep curl basically, folds out a little bit, hold on to it, take it back, gets to the top nice and good. As long as your grip is good, you'll be in a good position there. And then as long as that club is kind of, I wouldn't say laid off or across the line, but kind of pointing down your target line, so much easier for you to deliver it on that shallow path or that very neutral path that you have, so you can hit the ball more consistently, have a more square club face at impact.